June Bailu from Tribeca Investment Partners is still here with me to talk about everything happening on the markets. But let's switch the focus to Bitcoin, shall we? Is it a proven currency or a predictable flop? Whatever side you're on, Bitcoin has taken the financial world by surprise in 2017. Now, amongst those who got on the Bitcoin train is a Melbourne-based Sam Karagiozis, who describes himself as a serial entrepreneur. Karagiozis has set up a company called Ozcoin, through which he has so far set up a couple of Bitcoin ATMs in Melbourne. Now, being a Bitcoin bull, he plans to roll out more than 1,000 across Australia and some in Asia too. Well, to tell us more, he's joining us now live from our studio in Melbourne. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you here with us today. Just, give us in a nutshell what your sort of exposure is to Bitcoin, how you got in to this cryptocurrency, and sort of how exposed are you still at this time?
Hello, hi, and thanks for having me. Look, I got into Bitcoin about 5 years ago in 2012. Just dabbling online, I saw it. It was maybe $1 back then, maybe $2. Jumped on board, started doing a bit of day trading, and yeah, look, I don't think anyone could have predicted that it would have achieved, the level of success that it has in such a quick, in such a short period of time. I think the market cap on Bitcoin now worldwide is just under $500 billion, which is just crazy for something that you can't even see or touch.
So was that just luck for you getting on board? I mean, fundamentally, why are you such a believer in these cryptocurrencies? Enough so that really you're staking your future on it.
Look, I mean, back then I didn't have a big investment in Bitcoin. In fact, once it doubled, I actually sold out at $4. But I've always been an advocate of it because I feel like the technology it brings can really change, a lot of things around the world. But obviously, as of the last 24 months, I've dabbled a lot more into it, and I've put a lot of eggs into that basket, for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So not only are you investing or trading this cryptocurrency, but you're also, I guess you could call yourself a cryptocurrency entrepreneur. We heard a little bit about it in the introduction. So you've got this ambition to roll out Bitcoin ATMs across Australia and Asia. Tell us exactly what is a Bitcoin ATM?
That's a great question. So basically, our inbox, our messages, our emails get flooded daily with people trying to get on board. So we've figured a simple way to help people get involved with Bitcoin is by having it, accessible to everyone at any time. So at the moment, we've set up our first ATM officially in Chadstone Shopping Centre, which is obviously the largest shopping centre in the Southern Hemisphere, and our second one is in Souvlaki GR, which is a restaurant in St Kilda. So basically, right now, you can walk into any of these locations, scan the QR code by downloading the official Bitcoin wallet application on your phone, put some cash in, and bang, your Bitcoin will be in your wallet before your receipt even gets printed off. So it's basically simplifying it and giving everyone the chance to get on board and hopefully profit from it and be a part of the future of finance.
Actually, Sam, this is fascinating what you're doing. So, so just coming back to this ATM, can you then withdraw Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin, can it be used anywhere where you can use a QR code?
That's exactly right. So the ATMs we've brought out are basically the newest ones available across the world. So you can cash out and cash in. So it's quite common for someone to go to the ATM, with, maybe $200, and then a few weeks later come back and withdraw, between $300 and $800, depending on, if the Bitcoin depreciated in that time.
So you say that it's all about teaching someone who doesn't know anything about blockchain how to use Bitcoin. Is there any danger in, I guess, having all of these people who don't necessarily understand the risks associated with this cryptocurrency accessing these ATMs in these shopping malls?
I think people need to make sure they do their research on any product, whether it's a basic investment, property, or Bitcoin. I don't think anything is guaranteed in life. So I think it's very important for people to know what they're doing. But I do believe it's a lot easier to use an ATM, especially with our phone number on there, and very simple instructions rather than trying to go online and hope that the website that you're using or the person that you're talking to is going to come through with your Bitcoin after you've made payment. So in terms of security, I think it's great. I think it's easy to use, and I think it's far better and much faster than trying to use different websites online to try and purchase or sell your Bitcoin.
Now, talk to us about, you're calling your cryptocurrency Ozcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what exactly are your ambitions for Ozcoin?
Ozcoin. So basically, Bitcoin's great. I see a very big future for Bitcoin, but I don't believe it was built for day-to-day transactions. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. Obviously, the fees involved in using Bitcoin, they're still not huge, but for day-to-day transactions, the fees, might be $20 or $30. So if you're going to go and pay for your lunch with Bitcoin, it may not be the best option. So Bitcoin, if you think of Bitcoin more as a digital gold, then you'd be looking at another sort of another coin that can be used, which is much faster and much cheaper to run. So I've decided, with our team, to bring Ozcoin to Australia, which is basically a currency that we want to, bring mainstream. And a big part of what Ozcoin is doing is it's basically bringing Bitcoin mainstream as well. So we've basically unofficially teamed up with Bitcoin to bring Bitcoin to the mainstream public of Australia, and then link that with Ozcoin so people can use Ozcoin for all of their day-to-day transactions and also benefit from the Bitcoin network that we've put in place.
Just it might be semantics, but just to question you on one of what you just said. You said you've sort of unofficially teamed up with Bitcoin to bring Bitcoin to the Australian masses. How do you unofficially team up with something like Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, Bitcoin is decentralized, so no one person owns it. So anyone can be a part of it, and that's why it's so great. So anyone can be a part of it. So we've decided, I've decided to say, okay, well, I want to help people get involved with Bitcoin, but I can't call Bitcoin because there's no person that runs it. So I'm gonna link Bitcoin up with Ozcoin and do something for everyone on my own.
Who's funding this $15 million rollout of the ATMs across Australia? Where did you get your seed funding from?
Yeah, so we've done a quick 24-hour seed round. So when a new coin is launched, they're called ICOs. So they're initial coin offerings. So it allows anyone that wants to participate in a new coin to get on board, and by doing so, you get to get on board at a much cheaper rate, as compared to when it hits the market. So it's similar to an IPO. So right now we're gearing up for our pre-ICO, which would be at the end of January, where people can purchase a token for 80 cents each and get a 30% bonus. Whereas if they wait until that hits the exchange, you might be looking at $1 or more, depending on how soon you get on board. So it's basically crowdfunding. So people will purchase by using Bitcoin or Ethereum. They'll purchase into the Ozcoin network, secure their tokens, grab the bonus, and then once we hit an exchange by March, that's when people get on board and start trading Ozcoin and hopefully look to profit. And I guess the key, before anyone invests in any sort of ICO, is to look at the plan, look at the team, and look at what their vision is, and see if that aligns with yours, or if you believe it's going to be successful, and sort of go from there.
Sam, I'm just curious that as far as I know, that there are more than 500 and growing the cryptocurrencies around. How do you compete in that world?
Yeah, I think there are now 1,200. To be honest, I'm not quite concerned. I believe a lot of ICOs are just people that know a lot about tech, but not too much about real-world application. So what we're doing with Ozcoin, it's not anything revolutionary, or we're not building robots, we're not going to space or going to the moon per se, but we're keeping it basic. So what we're trying to do, our vision is to help people get on board with Bitcoin, and and by doing so, it will get people into all sorts of cryptocurrency. So it's the good thing with cryptocurrency. It's not as competitive as people think. There are a lot of coins, but there's so much room, and it's still such a small market. And I think there's a lot of room for everyone to get on board.
Oh, Sam, thank you so much for coming in and explaining that to us. Appreciate your time today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sam Karagiozis, who describes himself as a serial entrepreneur. Junbei Liu is my guest host here. Jun, I'm just curious to get your thoughts. Obviously, we've seen wild fluctuations in the price of Bitcoin since prior to the Christmas break. Do you think that this is a correction in something which will eventually help legitimize the whole trend, or is this the volatility that we've seen sort of the start of a deflationary and the bubble bursting when it comes to cryptocurrencies?
Of course. Look, in terms of cryptocurrency, that we do see its role in this world, but the issue is it's not regulated. It is still very new. The government still get their mind around regulating those currencies. So eventually regulation will come through, and then there will be quite an adjustment period for those currencies. Right now, it's just bubble that is driving the share price, driving the cryptocurrency prices, and then when it comes down to actual asset backing, it doesn't really have real asset backing to a lot of those coins. So it's very difficult to determine, essentially, where is the intrinsic value sits. So, and when it comes down to supply, it's almost unlimited. A few weeks ago, I heard it was 500, and just now, Sam said there was 1,200 different type of cryptocurrencies. So it is growing. So it's very difficult to see where the value ends, and then when the value regulation comes through, that's when you see it will become a mainstream. But which one may survive? We have to see it.
So interesting. And you've got to say, Bitcoin was quite the topic of conversation around Christmas dinner tables, around not only the nation, but around the world. We do have to take a short break here on Sky News Business. When we return, we'll reveal who topped the list of the world's richest and how many women are amongst the billionaires. Back in a moment.